subject, and then we'll do a deep dive.
Okay. I got a couple of subjects.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Things I'm seeing in the industry and car builds and.
All right, let's get before you dive in. Let's just get into it. Okay, hey guys, thank you. This is Wally here at the Bad Lines Good Times podcast. We've got here Jason
Stilgerbauer.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, thank you for coming over. Thank you for helping me. This is the first time this podcast studio is turning into a thing, so thank you for the help with this.
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked to be back.
Yeah, didn't come lightly. We had to move everything around. My house has been changed for the better, I think. It's a little different than it was an hour ago, but we had a little sausage for dinner.
We had wieners.
We had wiener, yeah. We cut it up, so it was little sausage, but we didn't take the whole kielbasa.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's been new, man? I see you've been traveling quite a bit and driving vehicles that aren't necessarily yours. But.
No, I've just been busy with work and off-roading and when I can. And most of the time, it's been off-roading, not vehicles that have been mine.
Yeah.
I just got off the 2024 Ranger Raptor. Phenomenal vehicle. Phenomenal. I love it. In my opinion, it's the best mid-sized truck you could possibly...
Hey, Donald Trump? Did you use Donald Trump? It's the best. There's nothing even better. It's the best thing that's ever come out. Yet alone, I want to say it like that because it did break down on you.
You know what? That is so funny. It is the only truck I've ever borrowed that's broken down on me.
But that wasn't your fault. We did go through this. I've worked in the industry for a few years. You know that the longest storyline for somebody racing on wheels or even just driving wheels off road is I was driving on the highway. I was driving on a flat dirt road, and then all of a sudden my wheel broke in half. Well, but that's not when it happened. So let's talk about your situation real quick.
All right, Ranger Raptor broke off road. Bummer.
Well, I want to say that's not when it happened. That's where it failed. It actually broke and fatigued quite a bit early. But that's where it failed is when you were on the flat road. But go ahead, back to your story.
You know, I was prefacing that it was a good vehicle. I didn't want to just go dive deep into it's a bad vehicle, but we'll get into it. So
it's gonna be a short podcast. Let's
go. We were in Soggy Dry Lake in Johnson Valley.
It's a brand new beer, by the way.
Is your mouth leaking?
Yeah, a little bit.
But I like it. We're going off-road, and we're in Baja mode, you know, one of the fun modes of all it comes with. And it, like, shortens the gear ratios, all the good stuff. It's fast, 400 horsepower. We're having a good time going flat out, 45, 50 miles an hour on a dirt road, flat. And the sweeping left, a little sandy, all of a sudden, tie rod snaps. Wheel goes full lock. The wheel goes kuta, huktua, and then the whole truck is up on two wheels, and we're flying 50 miles an hour at a bush.
Okay, I want to make this clear. Okay, gang, this is not his truck. This is a loaner truck. He is driving it to experience it, you know, because you can't not have that. But it's not like you're going out there to prove the world. Like, there's no cameras on you at this time.
No. We didn't pull out a camera. We're 20 minutes into being in Johnson Valley.
Exactly. So
we spent hours prepping just to get there.
My point is, this is where it failed. It wasn't a failure point necessarily of the Ford Ranger, but this is where that product and whatever failed on you.
Yeah.
Because again, you weren't going for gold. You weren't shooting for the moon. You were just trying to get some content, but trying to get understanding of how the vehicle drives, so you could get the best picture in the portrait or whatever you're looking for.
Yeah. It was the whole intent was like, let's feel it out. Do one pull all the way up. I forgot the road name.
It's just past Boone. It's whatever. It's Soggy Dry Lake Bed.
Yeah, Soggy Dry Lake Bed. Let's just do one pass past the lake bed and just go further back to the memorial and come back.
Yeah.
And when we're coming back, it snaps. We think we're crashing. I'm really happy it's flat and there's just bushes everywhere. No trees, or else we would have smacked him into a tree. And we're in the desert by ourselves. No other vehicles, no other support vehicles, nothing. And we're just like...
Well, why would you care? It's a brand new truck.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about anything.
My goal was not to break the truck. We did not bring a trailer or any recovery gear besides some max tracks and a tow rope.
Did you bring water?
Yep. We brought water, food. We were there for a while.
Good.
So, ended up calling Ford, and I was like, hey, what do we do? They're like, call a tow truck. Good luck. All the tow trucks said, we're not going out there. Bring it to the main road. Mm-hmm. And off, what is that, Highway 247?
Yep. Yeah, I'm on the way to Johnson Valley.
Yeah, and bring it to the main road, and we'll come tow you. I'm like, all right, we got a lot of work to do. And we spent hours just trying to, like, jerry-rig something with speed straps and tie-downs, trying to, like, keep the wheel locked and drive. And then at some point, we just decided, well, if we drive straight and the tire's this way and we're in sand, we'll just push through the sand. And we were able to get it to the lake bed. And then our friend, Jason Denny, came out and created this, like, tie rod splint with, like, 2 set screws, and we're able to, like...
But where did he curate this at? It wasn't out in the desert.
No, he woke up. I called him and said, hey, we broke the Ranger Raptor. We need help. And he said, fuck. I'm trying to have a day off. And he goes to his shop. And
real quick, is your camera recording?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the lower red.
Okay, I didn't know. I just want to make sure.
It's on the lower left.
Okay, never mind. I just want to make double. I don't know.
All right, so I called Jason Denny, and he has got to drive 2.5 hours from Anaheim to come out here. And stops at a shop. He creates this, like, splint with 2 little set screws.
And this is Jason Denny from Rig Supply.
Yeah, Rig Supply.
Yeah. So they own not necessarily a fabrication company, but they fabricate and build their own bike racks and whatnot. So
bike racks, swing out tire carriers, awesome. So he's really keen to fabrication.
Yes.
So stops, finds some extra tubing laying around, and he said, okay, let's make this little splint with 2 set screws to keep the tie rods together. And we get out there, and within 10 minutes of him being there, we fix it. Or at least get it drivable. So we drive to the nearest Ford dealership, drop it off, and say...
I don't think you realize how good he felt.
Oh.
Just showing up and just, like, not even questioning if it's going to work or not.
Yeah. It was the perfect diameter. And it worked. We had no issues driving it out. I mean, alignment was messed up and all that, but it was... We got it out, and I called Ford and said, hey, can I have a go-around with another truck that hasn't been beaten up? But like you said, it wasn't because it failed on a flat dirt road. I didn't hit anything. It was a flat, sandy road, and finally it was fatigued. This is a car that's been abused by journalists.
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about that. Like, how did you, like, a guy like you, like somebody coming into this space who doesn't necessarily understand how to get vehicles from well-known brands and whatnot, like Ford lends these out to tier 1 journalists to review? How's that work to you guys?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to connections and being a content creator in this space and who and what you're writing about. And luckily I have a connection with Ford, and they trust me with their vehicles, and they let me borrow their Ranger Raptor. So they give vehicles out to journalists, go create content and go off-road and experience it, and it's totally acceptable to go out. Things break, it happens. I've heard of the Gladiators frames bending in half from Motor Trend, and I've heard Car and Driver have literally, like, cracked the frames because they were told to go jump them because it's the off-road desert edition.
Yeah. Curate content.
Yeah. Nothing looks better than a truck skying in the sand dune.
See what her truck did, and then it just fails at a later point.
Yeah. So sometimes I don't write about that, but I mean, you can go look at the stuff I've written for Race Desert.
Yeah.
I've actually, like, written about press events I've been on, like the truck. I'm not going to say the company. I love those guys, but the truck's transfer case broke in half within the first 20 minutes driving it.
Wow.
Flew out to Michigan. I'm there. We drive the truck, and it breaks in half, the transfer case. And then they spend the rest of the day swapping in another transfer case into that truck. And luckily, we were able to drive it in the sunset. But man, oh man, it was just kind of like...
I mean, all the way up to Michigan. That's a whole day to get there.
A whole day to get there. Like, it happens. Stuff happens. Like, you know, like, whose fault is it? Was it Chevy's? Was it whoever the builder was? It happens. But I've gotten plenty of press cars stuck. I've gotten plenty of flat tires.
Yeah, stuck's fine.
Yeah, stuck's fine. You know, you want to take an F-350 through a silt bed, see what happens. You say, hey, it's an off-road trimmer.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And it got stuck. Cut to the clip.
But Ford and them, they like this. They like the, you know, obviously they're rifling for you guys getting that correct picture. And even after you guys had your, you know, you as a journalist and some guy that's trying to curate like high quality content, and you're obviously thankful for Ford to allow this to you. I mean, they just blatantly just gives you brand new trucks. There's a Ford Raptor in front of my house right now.
Yeah, that's great.
You can't afford a Ford Raptor. I can't afford a Ford Raptor. We don't have Ford Raptors around here.
No Raptors.
But at the same time, they trust you enough to like, this is your car for a week or two, and you get to go have it. So when you were out there, though, you were still able to like get the truck done and then also create more content.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually got photos of the truck while it was broken on the lake bed. I was like, well, we're waiting, so let's wipe it down real quick and get some photos. But you know, it is very cool that car companies do trust you. Typically, the more expensive the truck gets, the less they trust you. But they did trust me with the Raptor R, and that was a phenomenal vehicle. I don't think anyone should own a Raptor R. It's just such a
I've
silly
heard
truck.
they're the fastest like production truck basically out there.
Yeah, it's the fastest gasoline production truck.
Yeah, and then but also off road though, like it works extremely.
Oh yeah,
well,
like I don't drive sport cars. I don't go into the canyons. I don't know what that's like. The concept, I've ridden in trophy trucks. I get that part, but I've never driven one in razors all the time. But the concept of space running out faster is something that was so new that I hadn't experienced, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so like you're saying, as a space, like the stopping point gets shorter and shorter because of how fast the vehicle is.
Yes. You
don't recognize how fast you're going.
You don't recognize how fast you're going. The truck is like 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds, and like that is so fast.
Yeah,
that's like 2015 ZR1 Corvette stuff. Like that, a truck that weighs 6,000
with 37s on it.
On 37s is doing this. Like
with the super sport tire on it.
Yeah, like it's just an off-road tire that's just spongy and like you're floating around everywhere. But it is so wild. Like you're on the lake bed or you're driving off-road. The biggest issue with the Raptor R, in my opinion, was it wasn't enough suspension. Now, they did upgrade it.
Yeah.
There's new live valve shocks, but we just had issues with like that package as a vehicle. They upgraded the engine, but nothing else.
Yeah, and I see them doing that because I understand that the current and average clientele that can order a $120,000 truck with a $50,000, or $30,000 upgrade, fee or whatever.
Yeah.
They're probably understanding what that investment is, and they're not going to go and shred the
destroy it. Yeah.
But at the same time, you're going to get those 5% guys who care. They don't care about money, whether they have a lot or not. They don't care about it.
Yeah. It's this weird thing because this is the first time Ford. Obviously the Raptor was one of the...
All right, we got to stop. Sorry. Oh. Real quick, guys. We're going to have a little commercial break. My camera sucks. It's not the right direction. Can you go fix my camera, bud?
Give it one big clap.
It's always something around here, but you know what?
Can you give it a big clap just so we can sync sound?
There we go. As long as I can see the red light, that's all I want. There you go. She's back at it. I think you're too on. You're good.
No, you were too to the side.
Oh my goodness, we're fixing everything as we go. We're giving it whatever we need to do. So back to the Raptor R.
Yeah.
Fastest production vehicle on the planet.
There's
almost.
Yeah, the fastest production.
But maybe it's the fastest truck because it can go as fast as it can everywhere. And that's probably one of the few vehicles that can actually do that.
Yeah, if you really want to get into the definition of luxury, the Raptor is the most luxurious vehicle ever. Yeah. Because no matter what situation you're in, you can just drive over it.
Okay, so what about those wild production Jeep things? They're 6, they have 6 wheels on them.
Oh, like the 6x6 things.
Yeah, those things are garbage, right?
Oh, those things are garbage.
There's like this fall, like they look. I made a reel on one like recently, and I was just like, man, like the attention to details there, but why?
Yeah, I don't really know. Like the Mercedes 6x6 and then the G wagon thing. It's like the Brabus. Like, it's cool that it's a thing, but like, there's a reason why there's no trophy truck that's a 6x6. Like, like.
Yeah, and I wonder
it's a turning radius.
if
like,
it's,
you can't turn it.
But okay, maybe it's just for sand, and it's more about just like grunting and cruising through it. And I think maybe that's why like a 6x6 could be of value, but like past that, I don't know, and I don't understand it.
I think there's a reason why no automotive manufacturers ever made a 6x6. But they just don't really make sense, and I've never driven one. I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, if someone gave me a key, I'm like, yeah, sure.
I just see those things, and it
seems like
obviously it's a lot of
UAE
fluff.
type thing, like a.
Well, it's just the ungodly amount of money.
Yeah, the ungodly amount of money. Like, what can we do?
Let's add more wheels to the thing.
It's funny. Like, working at Body Science, we had a couple guys that ordered 50-inch laser light bars. Ordered 2 of them that were $20,000 just for light bars to put on a Mercedes G-Wagon 6x6.
Yeah, money's not a problem at that point.
He stacked it. It's crazy. Yeah, so it's.
And Elliot still has one. We have a little laser. It's the little guy.
Yeah.
The thing is badass.
Yeah, the laser is kind of funny.
And then to buy a 50-inch laser,
it's like $10,000
for what?
it's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I think Tesla needs one on top of their Cybertrucks.
Yeah.
Like
I think people hear lasers and they're just.
Did you hear that? I just think I just sold you guys so much money. Laser beams for a Tesla truck. If you market that, I'll take 10%.
Remember when?
I'll take 10% of that one, whatever that is right there. I'll take 10% of it.
Remember when the Cybertruck first came out? People were spending like $300,000 on the Cybertruck. They're like, I need one.
Yeah,
$300,000, and now people can't get rid of them fast enough.
I was telling my buddy, he lives like in upstate New York, and I'm obviously in Southern California, LA, Arizona, or LA, San Diego, and I'm like, I see at least 2 a day if I go on the road, minimum. They're everywhere. It's crazy.
In upstate?
No,
or
here. No, here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's never seen one.
Yeah, my friend in Louisiana, he's never seen one. And I'm like, dude, I literally see one every day.
Yeah, it's wild.
There's like 2 in my apartment complex.
So then it comes back to the point of like, so Ford built this rad truck, which is big gas guzzler. And I guess not really. They're not that terrible on gas anymore, but like.
You got like average 6 to 8 miles per gallon.
On the Ford Raptor R?
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. Okay. They're great on gas is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. They're great on gas.
With that
great
said,
at consuming gas.
The Tesla Cybertruck obviously is limited because of where you can go, and you can't bring extra batteries with you and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to see that like Ford's pushing the limit to get the worst gas mileage, and they can't keep those things in stock. The Raptor Rs.
No, you cannot buy one at sticker. It does not exist.
And then yet alone, it's like Tesla and other vehicles like that are having trouble selling these like crazy efficient vehicles. To an extent, but
weird thing. I mean, I remember when they launched it in 2019. They said this is coming next year, and we waited 5 years, and we finally get it. Everyone who had it ordered, they're like, "Yeah, I want to be the first one." Mm-hmm. So they get the Founders Edition, and then they immediately think that this thing is a hunk of junk, and it's weird. And this, I don't want to say it's a hunk of junk, but there's a lot of like many things wrong with it. But
it's not something I would purchase because I just the value of one is not to call out names, but there was a company out there that built an electric truck vehicle to race, and it made it 40 miles. And I just don't think the data is there on anyone's radar of what it takes, like the loss of power that it gets consumed through like
wheel spin in the sand.
It's wheel spin.
Especially San Felipe in 2021, I believe it was.
Correct, it was, yeah.
Yeah, and that was Lordstown.
It's not even just wheel spin.
Trucks.
It's not even just wheel spin.
Yeah.
It's just how much torque and value it takes away from the battery life, and how far away we are from that.
Yeah.
Because again, I mean, it was 40 miles. That was the race.
Yeah, that was a race. I remember that happening, and there was a truck builder that built the truck for them, and the truck had minimal testing. And
Yeah, well, because how could they? Because they're
No,
building something from the ground up and trying
No,
to make a deadline. And,
I mean, at that point, there was only a couple other electric desert vehicles. There's a company in San Diego called EV West that does like Volkswagen.
no, Elliot bought he bought the like a bunch of parts from the dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Elliot bought a Forerunner, like a complete truck from the guy. He was going to put a Cyber motor in it or something like that, or a
Really?
Tesla motor in it. And yeah, he built. We were there. He's like, oh yeah, this is Tony Hawk's car. This is this dude's.
Yeah, that's super cool. They built like a Pikes Peak M3, and it's like super fast. And
it's awesome.
Volkswagen turnkey motors, and like awesome.
Yeah, the dude was rad. Elliot bought a whole chassis from him, all the parts are on
Really?
his Forerunner that he just took out. So.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
rad.
The Lordstown motor thing was pretty crazy. I mean, nobody.
I feel like that's investor money, is what that is, and they're trying to prove to their investors that there's value in what they're trying to do.
I think
So they have to do something quickly.
Well, I think there's someone in marketing that said, we got to race the Baja. Honda raced the Baja. GM raced the Baja. And they said, we can go race the Baja. But not knowing the logistical consequences. But even then, you go to a truck builder who literally their only job is to go race Baja. And yet it was a disaster.
But I don't think they could even comprehend what the value of loss there was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
I don't, every time you add an ounce, it's like a hiking thing. Like ounces turn into pounds, right?
Yep.
And I think that's like, it just gets lost in the EV world because there's just no data to back it. So my dad has like a Tesla and he's like, yeah, dude, the thing loses like 50 miles of the tank if I put a bicycle rack on the back, just from aerodynamics.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Like, that's how efficient these cars need to stay and be. Like, so adjusting them.
It's very important. Yeah.
You said that last time, drag coefficient. What is that, a Honda Insight? We're gonna bring that up again.
Dude, I haven't done much research on them lately. They've been kind of forgotten since the last podcast.
Not out of me. That's the only thing I think of every day. I'm like, gosh, I should get one. Just like that, he sold me on it.
Transmission.
But it's weird. I've just never seen one pop up on like Facebook towards me. Like, just my algorithm's not shooting insights at me.
What is interesting though, a company that did take notice and figure out how they can do it really well, is Rivian. And Rivian's intent to go race about Rebel Rally, which is an all-female off-road navigation-based race. And they crushed it. Like, the logistics were there. They had a hydrogen charging, so trucks carrying hydrogen to recharge the cars every night before the next stage for a 5-7 day rally, and they crushed it.
Yeah.
No drama, no controversy, had actual drivers driving the cars, and it worked. So I don't know. And then,
so how did the Rebel get around that with all the navigation stuff? Because that's the biggest part. How do you turn off the navigation stuff on it? You just can't use it. They put a black tape over it.
I actually think they do.
They probably put black tape over it.
They put black tape over it, and they put like in-car cameras, and
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, and they take away the phones from all the girls.
I guess that is all the new, like the when they race the Rolls Royce and everything. They all the navigation's still there, so they just have to put stuff over it.
Yeah, they had like Rolls Royce, the Hyundais, the Broncos.
Yeah, it's a cool race. I really appreciate it.
I mean, arguably the most media attention out of all the off-road races.
Again, I love what they're doing, and I've been friends in their space. Emily Miller's an awesome person. Nicole from Tokals. And I love that, and I know the sales tactic of it is important, of that there is a lot of massive, worldly press. And again, somebody like you who can get get vehicles from Ford, obviously you see the value in that side of it.
Yeah.
But from the person receiving the information on the back end, and I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
It ain't there. That's my point. It's not in my face. I don't get to see it. It doesn't look fun because of the limited amount of content they're allowed to use, because they're trying to make it so competitive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fail. The fail is that these days and age, you have to give ownership of the content to the people producing it, the people that are partaking in it.
Yeah.
By taking their phones away, you're limiting your exposure.
Because that interesting aspect. I didn't think about it like that.
Well, because like I get what you're saying, like, oh, it's in this magazine. I don't read magazines.
Yeah.
It was in this article. I read articles.
I would say that it, like the Baja used to, like any Baja race used to be, like the great analogy I always use. Ivan Stewart is more famous than Rob Mack. Rob Mack is far, far, far more accomplished than Ivan Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
But Ivan Stewart has a video game.
Exactly.
And that is marketing. And that was Toyota. Ford pulled out before Rob can get to that stratosphere because he was a young kid at the time.
Yeah. And again, I believe in everything that Rebel's doing. I love the point of the race, but like you got to give and have some. You have to let people have their own media these days.
So you're saying put a camera guy with every.
Oh,
racer.
Absolutely, yeah, and he gets to curate their own content.
That would be sick.
You like not even hired, like the Rebel hires.
Are you watching this?
She better watch this, Emily. You know me. We've had our days in Colorado. No, but I do believe that would be a key aspect of that race and then that person can go up and upload daily, and there's this, that, and the other.
Yeah, it's like the Dakar recaps. Oh my gosh,
that's the point.
Yeah,
you have to have it built into it.
Yes. The drama, yeah.
But I get it. Like the clout's there, and obviously the foundation there, and the sponsorship money comes from those big vendors, and I get that. I'm not saying that doesn't take it away, but like it will only get better if you allow for more. More is more.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, and I think there's just this really kind of like conflict of people like, oh, this is just like it's the Rebel Rally, it's just a thing, but like it does have the interest of Rolls-Royce, Toyota, Hyundai, like Ford, and like they're all factory like back teams, but they're not in Baja.
No.
You know, it's
exactly. And you don't have to, and it doesn't have to be that race. Like the Rebel's its own thing. It's taking a production vehicle out on a massive variations of terrain and everything. It's not a simple thing to go do what they're doing, and to keep a vehicle running and driving as well as they do. You know what I mean? Like a factory production Rolls Royce on I don't know how many mile trip it is. It's a lot. Yeah. All off road for the most part. And then the thing is they're doing a lot of different circles and whatnot around. Like they're not just driving their straight line to the next point on the GPS because they don't have one. So they're trying to find routes and whatnot. And there's
how do you
stress.
get around this back dune? Yeah.
Yeah. And then so these people are driving these things not exactly where they plan and maintaining it and not breaking the vehicle and all that kind of stuff. So my point is I'm not dogging the race or anything like that. And the only aspect that I would think would make it better and more, more presentable towards the consumer base is it being just, I don't know.
More drama.
I guess it's drama. It is drama. We love drama.
Did you watch the Baja 500? Did you see the live coverage?
I watched a lot of it. It was hard to figure out which one to follow. There's so many different channels now.
Yeah, you had the scores like first, my opinion, the first real good coverage nonstop.
No, it was great.
San Felipe was good, but this was like, whoa.
Yeah,
and then of course,
it's like if you had if you had the Fish, if you had him or somebody like him allowing to navigate that drama, and picking points of camera footage of just a full production setup. Like not that they don't have it, it's just it's hard to do in its infancy. I can't say that word. It's infancy?
Yeah, infancy.
Infancy, okay.
Yeah. We're still trying to figure out this live streaming and the Starlink, and it's all really new.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, did you ever watch, like, these, like, mid-90s Baja 500 documentaries?
It was the best.
It was the best.
The
camera crews and interviewers in the pits.
Is it Into the Dust? Is the dude, he's an old man and his son race the Baja 1000 on dirt bikes?
Into the Dust.
The Iron Man in it. So he's an old dude. He's like late 50s or 60, and his son's like mid 30s.
Yeah.
And they're both trying to Iron Man it, and he put a full production team behind it, and it's just badass. Oh, and it's because it's the drama. Like, what did it take to get there? What did it take to do? What was it like while you were there? How stressed were you at mile 300 and you're like out of fuel and you're like. and they do such a good job making sure they capture the content to tell the story.
They really did.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you think of? I think it was the Austrian guy.
Yeah, do that, and he didn't even tell anyone.
Yeah, he literally flew to San Diego because he was living in Australia.
Yeah,
Flew to San Diego, bought a used KTM or Husky. I think it was a KTM, and then rode down to La Paz
on the bike.
on the bike, and then bought new tires.
Yeah, no, he was forced to.
Yeah,
he wasn't trying to. He was trying to go through tech without him because I don't think he could find him yet.
He had to buy new tires and had no pit, no friends, no idea how he was going to do it. No. But he made
it's a hero story.
It's a hero story. And he finished the Baja 1000. What's it, the third longest Baja race?
Yeah, it was what, 13? Oh, it was only 1,300 miles.
Almost 1,300 miles. I chased it. It was crazy. Yeah. And the stories along the way, whenever we got service, it was like, apparently, if he stopped at every pit that had his name, he said that he wouldn't have finished.
Because people are they're looking for the hero. It's easy to not I wouldn't say it's easy. It's hard to be a very wealthy person that can go do a race that well. Like your life is not simple. You didn't just win the lottery and start racing typically. But for the guy to just go for it at no, like, I don't care what happens, we're gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
Like that is our people. That's my people.
Yeah, that's your people. That is bad lines a good time.
That's my people. Like what did you do? Like you showed up first. You could care less how it looked, but you got here and here you are.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, just to circle back to the whole electric car thing, I think what we're forgetting is the guy that was racing the electric 4Runner. Also,
which one?
It was a first gen electric 4Runner, and he was
in the Ball 1000.
No, San Felipe 250.
Okay, because there's a guy that races King of the Hammers too, which is rad.
Yeah, same guy.
Okay, same guy.
Yeah.
There's the Toyota guy.
Yeah,
he's my favorite.
And he was had a crane system on a flatbed trailer, and he was hot swapping batteries.
Yeah, because he figured it out. He's like, I don't need your money.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't know, we're gonna do this. And now there's like an EV class at King of the Hammers, and it's just so rad. Off-road's so exciting.
Well, and that's the best part is because it's so not unorthodox. It's like there is no simple play to make it work.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out on your own. There's no book. There is no like.
Oh, we learned that so many times. Like the Arrive and Drive programs. Like you have guys like Benson Button, F1 champion.
I remember we were part of that.
Went to the Mint 400.
You know how many wheels he broke that were forged?
He went to the Mint 400, and I think he was like freaking. I think Rob Mack punted him out of the way, and he was getting lapped.
Yeah.
At the Mint 400.
Yeah, because he was trying to drive it like he was structured. But like again, he hit like every rock. He broke so many wheels, and again, it's obviously he's a very well accomplished driver.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
It's just you can't. You got to play the game. The game's the desert.
Yeah.
And it's ever changing.
Unlike anything else.
Ever changing.
There's no apex.
We look at the, Las Vegas trying to do the Indy car, and then it cost them millions of dollars in a pothole. And it's like, you're driving on the streets, guys. Shut up. Like, what is... Do you think
all those clips where it's like me when I hit a pothole, and then it's just off-road racing, and it's like...
Yeah. What bush did you hit in the Ranger after?
Lauren Healy jumping off that rock.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good, but I think we should end it here. Wait,
I have one more question.
Okay.
What do you think is gnarlier, WRC Rally or racing the Baja 1000?
WRC Rally is insane. I've been watching a lot. So back in the day, we were sponsoring Team Seabird, not me, but the company I work for, and they do launch control, and it's like the best series. It's basically they were doing the new type of series. Like the
Drive to Survive,
the F1, the golf, the tennis. Now they have all of them now. Subaru's been doing this for years. Mm-hmm. For years they've been doing this. For 10 plus years they've been doing this. Back end, what it's like to show up and being a rally car driver and the ins and outs and the life and everything like that. And then you just watch. Not to be a fanboy, but Travis Pastrana is ridiculous. That dude is insane.
And Brendan Simonek?
they're obviously all good.
Yeah.
But watching those dudes just repeat like gnarliness, like there's no way I could ever drive a car that fast. I'm too scared.
Yeah.
Like, and not like
the consequences are insane.
Yeah, like and again, I just got hurt recently, and it doesn't feel good to get hurt a little bit. And like these dudes get hurt all the time, and they just go back at it like just no fear. And I could never.
It reminds me of the time, I think it was the 2012 X Games. Travis Pastrana was trying this like 720 backflip thing, bar spin, whatever. He crashed, broke his leg, but had to race GRC the next day in X Games. And so he spent the next...
My camera's done. Your camera's still going. But go
oh,
ahead.
It's good. He spent the next afternoon learning how to drive hand controls because they taped his leg to the side of the transmission tunnel, and he got third place. And a rally car. In Global Rallycross.
Again, I don't know what type of drugs you would be on to just numb that type of pain, or if he just naturally has.
The day after he broke his leg.
That's something I don't understand the pain of it.
Yeah.
How could you do? Like I'm like, hey, Jason, help me! I can't lift this right now. Like, I'm hurting. Like, and my stuff's not even remotely as bad as breaking your leg and then getting jarred over and over again in a gnarly rally car, and willing just to like. I don't know. Like, what if you got in a real accident?
So what you're telling me is that you think a rally car flat out in the woods is more gnarly than a trophy truck?
Yeah, I do think so. I think the margin for error is just dramatically less.
Yeah.
Like, dramatically.
Dramatically less. Like, you're 10/10. If you blow a corner, you're done.
You're... Like, not even just on your lid, you're doing cartwheels.
Yeah, you're doing cartwheels.
Pretty much always.
Yeah, you're going into a lake.
Trophy trucks doing cartwheels it's not uncommon, but it's not every time you crash.
No. You're like you blow a wheel off, and you're just like...
and you're just kind of like...
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I don't know. That's how I look at it. Because usually it's a hit, and then it's a cartwheel.
He said it here first. Rally cars are gnarlier than trucks.
They are...
Fight him in the comments.
But... Tier 1 rally cars.
Yeah, WRC is like the Hyundais, the Peugeots, the Fords.
Well, we're not talking about the guy that showed up to Krispy Kreme on, you know, his Sunday or Saturday night. It's not Cars and Coffee when they're doing that, but what are those guys? I don't know.
Oh, just like a WRX is a mud flap?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
we're talking about like
talking
legit
about like
racing.
Yeah, like a WRC, like you're racing in Germany, you're racing like Monaco,
Yeah. Well, one of the best ones, I mean, just for his driver, you know, again, I just watched this launch control with Travis Soprano when he won the Pikes Peak. You know, a couple years back, he had the top mark for Pikes Peak, right?
For Pikes Peak? A couple years ago.
It was a couple years ago. I don't know. It was a couple whiles.
No worries.
But either way, you're going from asphalt to dirt while you're racing.
Oh, that was
the same car.
If you're talking about dirt with the Pikes Peak, that's talking about like 2008.
Okay, well, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
Pikes Peak hasn't had dirt in many, many years.
Okay, well then I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No worries.
Either way, but being able to drive from street to dirt in the same duration of the race is dramatically different disciplines.
Yeah.
The car is completely two different cars, and you're still driving it flat out the whole time.
Oh, 100%.
Which... it's pretty rare for that to happen with a trophy truck. Like, as far as being it flat out and driving it wildly, like...
Well, there's one thing that's, like, so admirable about Ken Block. When he decided he wanted to go race trophy trucks, a lot of people gave him so much hate, or at least the desert community did. They were like, oh, just another celebrity, just another racer, think they just go race trophy trucks. He bought a truck with Jack's Redline and literally raced 3 races, and he was like, I'm doing all the testing every step because I want to win. They got 3rd place or 4th place. And
he was a very talented driver, obviously.
It was insane.
Like, he was
racing with Jax, Alan and Pudia for the Ball 1000. And I think they had like an axle problem, but they got 4th place.
But that's
1,200 mile race.
Yeah.
2nd longest race. 1,000. That was a crazy race.
I think to end this again.
You just want to keep talking about?
No, I'm just
Random
scared
things.
about all of my stuff not working
All right.
here in this little mini podcast city. But thank you guys for checking in. We're gonna try to have a second one maybe here in a second. But
We collect our thoughts.
I do think overall WRC is quite gnarlier than trophy trucks.
Yeah. I have a clip I'll show you. Which I just like can't replicate. Besides like Robbie Gordon and Harley Letner.
All right, people.
Or Tava.
Good night.
Good night. Dude, man,